then. So my story started along this ancestral voices journey. So obviously we were doing all this research, we were coming into this knowledge. And, you know, it's funny because most people say, why are you going to get into these teaching? It's negative, it's evil, all that stuff. But I was like, I'm not letting that phase me. I know that there's a lot more to it. And that's what was motivating me. Having said that, when I started this journey, I met this amazing medium called Barbara Wright. And she, is your volume up loud on your thing? I can hear myself. Sorry.
No, it's at 58. I mean,
no worries. It must be just me. Don't worry. And so I found out, well, going to this medium, she was fantastic. I sat down and she literally started telling me about my whole life. And she told me, same like yourself, that there was a family member who was actually jealous of my parents, of their relationship, and that whatever she did, it didn't work, but it had fallen to the children and actually manifested itself as an illness. The person, and so that actually resulted in eventual death, but it was like a long, prolonged process. And so in my case, it was something that, weirdly enough, from a child, I've always thought that, nah, something's not right. Like, I just felt like exactly as you mentioned, there's like a blockage, like there's this invisible ceiling that you're feeling, no, this is not, you know. So when I went to see her and she started reeling all the stuff, details about this is what happened and this is how it happened. So I went home and told my mom. My mom was like, I knew it. I told you so. I believed it. So my mom has always internally felt this, but, you know, kind of gave in to everybody else telling her that she's crazy and it's not real, blah, blah, blah. And I guess her religious upbringing kicked in as well. So as much as she kind of knew something was deeper, her religious teachings made her think, you know, don't really concern yourself with it. But then she ended up going to see this lady and it revealed so much. I mean, like you said as well, it didn't just stop with, you know, the people I'm aware of. It's actually so many different people involved who have been directly impacted by this. And so it just comes to show that, as you said, it normally comes from someone who is in your family line, somebody you know. And it's always fascinated me that you can have access to this great spiritual knowledge that is so powerful, but your first thought is to use it for something negative. And so people often taint African spirituality as a whole and say that it's negative, it's evil. No, it's not. There's individuals who don't have the solid foundation with themselves, that sort of moral compass. So when they do get any form of spiritual knowledge, their first thought is to use it for something bad. And so for me, it never put me off my ancestral voices journey. It was just, I can see the duality of the situation. And also in my case, I feel like that was part of my generational healing I needed to address. Because if I didn't do this journey, chances are I wouldn't have found out, I wouldn't have known. So it's funny how everything all comes together, but it's, you know, when we look at these teachings in their core, this is why I always stress, people always want to know, how to do this ritual, how do I do that ritual? And I always say, no, understand the philosophies first, understand those core principles first, because if we look at the original teachings, they always start with that good character, development of self. That's why not all knowledge is known for everyone. It's not like a class system or anything like that. No, you have to develop yourself to a certain level. Otherwise, information in the wrong hands is very dangerous. So we are both living products of that you can go through those consequences and see when someone has misused this spiritual science against you. It's not just damage to the individual, it's whole lineages that struggle and have the consequences. So, Michelle, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Oh, you know, well, yeah, thank you for sharing your story, and it can be something that appears so petty. So when you think about the fact that, like you said, you can utilize, because it's energy, and we know our ancestors, our scientists tell us that energy is just is not destroyed. So in that particular way. So how are you using energy? How are you using your energy? And what energy is being used against you without your knowing?
Yeah.
When we start to work with this energy, this power, if you like, well, of course, as with all powers, it can go either way. I mean, I also have stories around my there's so many stories about negative use of spirituality. I mean, I do put one of them, which I do want to be able to talk about, actually, because I think it's really phenomenal, this particular one. But before I do that, I want to say that I had to then share this revelation to my mother, who my mum was just blown away because, and she loved this relative and she didn't want to even believe it, to be honest. She didn't want to believe it. And she didn't, I wasn't really, I'm not convinced. It took her a long time before she believed this. And because what happened, the spirit had come onto me. It then didn't go. So it just kept revealing more and revealing more and revealing more, not just her, but other people that she worked with that are members of the family who think they're going and doing higher science spiritual work. And as you say, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're playing with. So this person this child that they try to invoke to, again, what for? They're going to invoke the child because they want, tell me where this is, tell me where that is, like tell me how I can get, money, rich, whatever they think they're doing. Now, that child, my mum used to dream the child. And the child would be saying, why are you bothering me? Stop bothering me. Because obviously the child is dead. And my mum was thinking, I'm not bothering you. Why are you saying I'm bothering you? So when I now come and I'm telling my mum, and I said, Mum, the spirit said this body said that they invoked, yes, that child. And she's like, oh, that's it, because now she understands it's not her. The spirit, the child's spirit is just being bothered. And it's just, and it's just identifying that reality to my mom. And so, there's just the need, like you said, to also have this communication with another elder, like your mum, to as a collective of dealing with it as well. Problem is that even though like myself and my mum might deal with it in our way and we go, okay, this is what we need to do, it doesn't mean the others who have not acknowledged that this is a reality in their life, this is why they're facing certain blocks, that's still with them, because they haven't acknowledged that action. Just because I have dealt with it from a consciousness, but others are not dealing with it. Some of them might say, oh yeah, I know so-and-so, she was like this, but what, you haven't done anything with that. You haven't gone to the waters, you haven't gone to this, you haven't given thanks, you can't leave the responsibility of that healing work, which it is, to just one of us. Is the whole family, is the whole community that has to work together to bring about the healing of the nation in total. And the other thing is that I'm having to face at the moment.
And so how has it been for you? Because in my case, certain family members wanted to go and, obviously try to heal this aspect. And some of them were like, nah, don't really believe in it, or not going to take it seriously. How was it in your case?
Well, you couldn't even, how do I say to the Christians, in my family, that I went to see a spiritual practitioner? How do I open that conversation? They want to come to my house, because they believe that, I am that. So that's the problem with it. It's like, I'm going to say to you that African spirituality or spirituality has been used in this negative way. But because I even went and found out that I am deemed someone that dabbles in this. So it's kind of like my thing is, when in terms of the studying of this and in terms of reparations and all of this, my vexation about this whole imperialist colonialist project is the fact that this aspect of removing the totality of our understanding of our traditions, of our systems, is one of the most disfiguring things that they've done. Because, like you said, we could use this is our power, this is something that we know we can do, but because you've deemed the whole of it negative,
yes,
some of them don't even know that they can do. All they know is, yeah, well, the OB, yeah, that's all I can do. All I can do is go to do something to somebody. I don't know that I can utilize this to this power to elevate myself spiritually, elevate my family, call on my ancestors, honor my ancestors. Those bits that they don't know. They just know, if you want to get rich, if you want to do this, and you got to do this to this body, if you want this man, this woman husband, you're going to do this. If you want this body house, you're going to do this. If you want to destroy this family, you're going to do this. It's like that. And I'm like, that is part of the whole demonization of our spiritual system. So in terms of answering your question about my family, it's only really my mum and I can fully have this conversation. But I do want to share this other aspect that I think is more progressive in terms of the developments as well. So let me know when you want me to do that.
Yeah, no, that I think echoes my experience as well, is that even though most of us have still kind of got our head around like the sort of religion and colonial impact, there's still this kind of internal resistance to take it forward with the spiritual route. And it's just interesting. It's just, I don't know if it's that fear thing still there or what. But going back to, you mentioned before that you used to be around this person when you were younger, and you were quite surprised that, or your mum was, I believe you said, was quite surprised that they couldn't see them in that light. In my case, it was different. Whenever I was around this family member as a child, I felt very uncomfortable. Like I didn't want to go to their house. I didn't like being around them. And it was like all of us were quite aware of this. So on an energetic level, even as a child, when I was not really on this spiritual tip at all, I felt it. And so when all of this became revealed later, it was like, oh, like, when everything starts to make sense, you're like, wow. All right. So I can see Aunty J is trying to come back. Let's try again. Aunty J, can you hear us?
Okay, hello.
We can hear you
loud and clear. Yeah. Yeah. I need to speak, please.
Go ahead. This is the perfect time.
Because of the subject matter today, there are so many forces negative out there that's trying to make me not speak. I call on the ancestors, the divine and the pure, to give me their voice and let me speak. I call on the energies of north, south, east, and west, fire, earth, water, and air, to let me have their voice and speak. The negative energies that rule this world, will never, ever quell our ancestors. They have a voice. Yes, we talk about negativity. Yeah, this is it in action. Okay, the subject matter today, what I wanted to say was, yes, we do negativity to us, each other. Yes, that is true. But there is a big negative force out there working on this world. Yeah, to stop us from being who we are supposed to be. Yeah, to stop us from being, the people, that are rightfully supposed to be here. Yeah, these energies, are stopping people like me, you, and Sister Michelle bring forth the message of our ancestors. I ask every ancestor, we have the moon energy out there. I ask for the divine energy of the moon, yeah, to make this happen, to make this work. Our children need this. Yes, I ask everybody out there, yeah, to join with us and bring up from your core the energy of our ancestors, yeah, to make this happen, yeah, because it's needed. We need it, and they desperately don't want us to have it, yeah. They are fighting. We are at war, whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not. The war is on. Yes, I ask every divine energy in this universe to make this happen here today. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
Give thanks, Aunty J, man. I got chills after that. I felt that one.
Ashe.
Ashe.
The energies out there. These people do ritual. They have been doing it for years and centuries. They came onto our continent and they took from us our spirituality, but they took it and they turned it against us, and they're working it towards us in order for us to be where we are right now. Yes, even the things that we do to each other spiritually, it is the brainwash and the mind mess that they've put us in, the hatred of self that they has put us under, that makes us do the things that we do to each other spiritually, that manifests physically. We must be mindful that even though we do these things to each other, it is coming from a force that is fighting us on a spiritual level. Every single thing that we do is a ritual that they have put in place for us to partake in. Every single thing, even getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and going to work and finishing our day at 5, it is a ritual. The time, the clock that we use, it's not ours. They have put it in place as a ritual. I am firing right now. I am alive right now. At the end of the day, this is a ritual. Everything that we do is a ritual that we are taking part in and helping to keep ourselves down. Everything that we do, those who go to church, mass is a ritual. Yes, what is a ritual? A ritual is a series of events that we perform. We have things that we have that represent either parts of nature or whatever it is, the intention that we are trying to put out there. Mass is a ritual that we call and response, just the same way we do chants in a ritual. We use candles just the same way we use candles in a ritual. We use incense just the same way that we use incense in a ritual. And we use color because the priest has, for Pentecostal or Palm Sunday, he wears purple, or he wears orange, or he wears red, or he wears yellow. They are doing ritual. We go every single Sunday, some of us every single day. Yes. And we take part in this ritual to keep us asleep and to keep us coming back. It's time we gave it up and stop looking at our rituals and downgrading our rituals like it's something that's bad when you are partaking in a big ritual all the time.